Creed 3 is the ninth film in the Rocky franchise and the directorial debut of lead actor Michael B. Jordan. It's also the first not to feature Sylvester Stallone as the series begins to move away from the original title character after disagreements that he had with the producers behind it. The plot of strong shades of Rocky 3 as we return to the life of Adonis Creed at the peak of his powers, achieving what appears to be balance both professionally and personally with wife Tessa Thompson's Bianca and daughter Amara, played by Mila Davis-Kent. That is until, however, a new hungry contender emerges in Adonis's childhood friend, Dame Anderson, played by Jonathan Majors, and his relentless ambition and propensity for causing trouble threatens to upend everything. Dame is effectively playing a modern take on Mr. T's Clubber Lang as the foil that's needed to cause the champion to dig deep and find new strength when he's in a bit of a comfort zone. But since it's Majors, he gives the role a depth that takes it to a new level. Just weeks after his first feature film role as Kang was praised as the one unifyingly positive aspect of the new Ant-Man movie, Major's world domination continues. He seems to thrive in those quiet moments most actors don't even consider, able to convey multitudes of emotions and suspense with a single reaction shot, constantly leaving the audience off balance in scenes that would totally be unremarkable in other hands. Unlike Quantumania, though, this isn't a case of the nuance he brings being responsible for the only depth of an otherwise average movie, because Creed is a winning formula built upon an existing winning formula. It's now been nearly, think about this for a second, 50 years since the first Rocky movie, yet somehow the series continues to not only work while regurgitating familiar beats, but finding small and fresh ways to evolve at the same time without losing the familiarity that we're all here for. It's very much in the same vein as Top Gun Maverick, where this movie succeeds in staying out of its own way. The Creed universe doesn't need to be a multiverse. It doesn't need any dramatic contrivances just to keep the party going. At the core, it's still the simple premise that Rocky and Apollo gave us nearly half a century ago. Two guys who are extremely talented, charismatic, but different in fundamental ways and just don't like each other. They're going to face demons, they're going to train hard, they're going to overcome them, and they're going to fight each other. That's it. No bells and whistles apart from the fight bell. It's a simple, effective story, but told really, really well. I do say no bells and whistles, but having watched the first two Creed movies the week before this, one thing I really admire about the series is its use of its budget. You'll regularly, as recently as last week, for example, hear me roast the likes of Netflix for substituting budget for substance. With Creed, it manages to toe the line perfectly. It's a clearly expensive movie, but it spends its money smartly to give you what feels like a bespoke prestige experience. And as expensive as it all looks, it's never actually distracting or feels like it's overcompensating. Well, how does it do this? In addition to returning an absolutely stellar supporting cast in spite of Stallone's absence, you feel the benefit of every single penny spent. Rocky montages are like Marvel signatures or Star Wars scrolls at this stage. They're a Hollywood tentpole experience. The fights also have that authentic, credible attention to detail that feels totally earned with the build-up. Like Top Gun Maverick, they said, why are people here? And then they just poured money into making that answer the best experience possible. And it's not rocket science. It does all this while delivering an excellent soundtrack in line with our expectations from this series. The song choices had me nodding along and smiling since the film opened with Dr. Dre's The Watcher. It's actually incredible how the franchise has pivoted so hard culturally from what it was 50 years ago, yet somehow managed to do so in a way that you feel also kind of respects its roots. Those two things shouldn't contradict each other, yet it all just works in sync, like, well, Rocky and Apollo did. Jordan's directorial debut is brave, particularly during the climactic fight scene. He moves away from some similar beats that we've gotten used to over the 50 years and dares to experiment at crucial points. For me, it didn't match the highs of the Creed and Drago fight from the last movie, which was cinematic bliss that made it difficult not to start jumping from your seat and start punching along with them. This has some left turns that you don't hate because they fit with the kind of story they're telling, but also there's a lot to be said for just sticking with going the distance in the background as the hero fights back when you only get one of these climactic fight scenes every few years. I did respect the braveness though to try something different, and I don't think that made the movie not work or was any way disappointed by it. If anything, it made me more confident that the franchise can continue to have legs, with perhaps a turn towards the world of women's boxing being next on the agenda, and that seems to be what the movie suggests, with Jordan also coming out and confirming recently that there will be a Creed 4 in the works. This is a really fun movie from a franchise that continues to never miss. Here's to the next 5 decades worth of more excellent sequels.